Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's AcesHigh. I decided to throw one more random video in before we get back into heavy Rome and our whole Roman series. The video that I decided to throw in it was requested a few weeks ago by CJ, one of my viewers. He's been around for a long time. He's requested a lot of videos. I've watched, I think, one or two, but there's some that he requested way back that I still need to get to. Trust me, I am working on it. It's just kind of got to figure out what goes together, you know? So I decided to look into this one. It's titled "The Royals at War." It's a World War II special, and it's from the channel World War II. So go check them out. They seem to have a lot of really cool videos, specifically about World War II, which makes sense because that's their channel name. But what this is based off the description. It says from inspiring their subjects to plotting international strategy. Basically, this is a video about what the monarchy did during World War II. There are different parts of it. So yeah, it's interesting because I would like to see what little things that they did, what great things, just who got screwed, who got tricked, who outsmarted the other side, just different things like that to help out with the war effort. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna shut up, and let's just get started.
The Second World War is a modern conflict in every sense of the word. Gone are the days of kings leading royal armies against each other in the field of protect their honor of their kingdoms. And in their place, the politicians and military men direct national armies in a brutal clash of ideology. I have a problem with that word. But royal houses still reign as heads of states in belligerent countries across the world. And just like their subjects, they have a role to play in assuring the victory of the realm.
I agree. I guess that makes sense. Morale is probably a big part of it. They have to make important decisions, of course, especially if you're in charge of the military, resulting in who to declare war on, things like that. So, it makes all the difference, you know? It's a scene from.
I'm Esther Deinhardt. This is a World War II in real time special about the role of royalty during World War II, which was written by Fiona Rachel Fisher. Here she is.
Oh, I like that. That's awesome. Good cut in. I already like this channel. What is her accent? I can't quite pick it out. Like, what region or what is it?
And I thank her for that. Okay, we have covered the role of monarchies once already, where we looked at the royal families out of occupied Benelux and Scandinavia and their relationships to resistance movements. The Norwegians and Dutch royalties fled to Britain to support their government in exile and offer encouragement to their subjects via radio broadcast. Meanwhile,
That's
the
cool.
Belgians and Danish monarchs stay in their countries to remain beacons of hope, still close to home. But what about the sovereigns reigning in countries that have held on to their national sovereignty? Major players like Britain, Italy, and Japan, but also countries such as Romania and Bulgaria. Well, these monarchies are all constitutional in character, meaning they do not really rule or exercise direct authority, but their political influence still holds great sway.
See, I thought the British monarchy pretty much did rule. Don't get me wrong. Queen Elizabeth can do basically whatever the hell she wants, I believe, based off the other videos I've watched. That being said, if she does certain things, obviously there's going to be, an overthrowing. People won't have certain things nowadays, but I think she does have technically, pretty much total control, right?
And their role as figurehead for the nation means they are an essential propaganda tool in remaining national morale. In the 1930s, many of them advocated publicity for peace. Japanese Emperor Hirohito is concerned about the Japanese invasion of Manchuria in 1931. Under Japan's Meiji Constitution, he is the supreme leader of Japan's and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But the reality of that is really shown during the Manchuria incident, and it is the political and military leadership who are true holders of power. As Hirohito sadly reveals to a court official, I'm striving to preserve world peace, but the forces overseas do not heed my commands and are recklessly expanding the incident. In Italy, King Victor Emmanuel III makes little effort even in his role as a figurehead. In 1922, political pressure to empower the fascist party had become so great that he had little choice to make Benito Mussolini prime minister. Since then,
You know that was something he really didn't want to do. I mean, just look at the guy. Jesus Christ, he doesn't even look happy. You know? I mean, Jesus, man. Although, let's be real, I wouldn't screw with him.
he has taken further steps back from political life. Still, Mussolini does make great use of him as a figurehead. When Italy invades Ethiopia in 1936 and an Italian emperor is proclaimed, Victor Emmanuel is awarded the title of Emperor of Ethiopia. In April 1939, Italian troops also invade Albania, and the Albanian crown is offered to the king as well.
Wow, so it's just theirs then, I guess. It's interesting. It's crazy how war works, you know? Um, as civilized as we are, if you go to war with somebody and you take a section of land, I mean, at the end of the day, when the war's over, that might just be your land now. It's very interesting.
On the other side, also trying to preserve peace, is Britain's newly crowned King George VI, or as he is more formally declared by the grace of God of Great Britain, Ireland, and the British Dominions, beyond the seas, King, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of...
God, is that really his title? King George VI. By the grace of God of Great Britain, Ireland, and the British Dominions, beyond the seas King, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India.
Emperor of India. He is head of state,
Wow.
as well as head of the British Armed Forces. But much like Hirohito, his executive powers are largely ceremonial, and authority lies with the elected government. But unlike Hirohito, the king and his politicians see eye to eye. George is a great supporter of appeasement. So that when Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain returns from Munich, we all remember that, negotiations in 1938, George invites him to join the royals on the balcony of Buckingham Palace to greet the crowd. So, an invitation is a great honor, and King George VI is actually overstepping his role as a neutral head of states by making this move. When Germany attacks Poland in 1939, George's dream of lasting peace are shattered. Just 3 years after his coronation, he has a war on his hands. On September 3rd, 1939, he declares via radio broadcast, for the second time in the lives of most of us, we are at war. Over and over.
That had to be rough. Could you imagine you finish the Great War, you finish World War One, you know, and then a lot of the world ends up going through a big financial just blow and struggle, a good chunk of the world, you know, and you're starting to get back to normal, just slowly approaching all that, and then you hear this radio broadcast. It just, for the second time in our lives, in the lives of most of us, we are at war. The second time for a major, major war. Don't get me wrong. I was alive for, Desert Storm and all those wars and, our Iraqi wars and things like that. But it's not like I was alive for Vietnam. It's not like I was alive for Korea. I wasn't alive for World War One, World War Two, the War of 1812, Revolutionary War, the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, I wasn't alive for any of that. It would be incredible to have two just incredible wars in your lifetime, I just think that would kill you. You know, it would really beat you down, beat down your morale.
Again, we have tried to find a peaceful way out of the differences between ourselves and those who are now our enemies, but it has been in vain.
Wow.
Queen Elizabeth, wife of the king, I mean, not the future Elizabeth II, who is her daughter, also encourages the British people to do their bit for the war effort, asking them to join her Queen's Wool Fund, which raises money to buy yarn to knit into military garments. You need that sort of thing. So, from the very beginning, the British royals positioned themselves as a rallying point for the morale of the nation. Even just remaining in London is a symbolic contribution to the war effort, choosing to remain at the center of decisions and, of course, the center of danger. To some extent, the Princess Elizabeth and Margaret do the same. But the government is also careful to take them out of harm's way, of course. First, they are moved to the Royal Lodge in Windsor and then
Okay.
Windsor Castle, where they should be safe from Luftwaffe bombs. Here, they do things like
Yeah, I guess they would probably have drills, and that's what I can probably see here. But I guess they would also inside Windsor. They probably have an incredible just bomb shelter built underneath or something like that. I mean, I don't know exactly what they have. Maybe you guys have a video that I could watch in the future about the protections of Windsor Castle, because I mean, I've watched videos before on some of the things that they can tell us about the protections for the White House, the protections for the Pentagon or different things like that, and yeah. So I wonder what Windsor Castle has.
joining the local Girl Guides, attend sewing parties, and collect valuable materials for war production. When the London Blitz began, the royal couple takes to visit the badly hit East End of London, but they are not welcome there. Their unsullied appearance amid crumbling houses and those recently made destitute often provokes anger. And on occasions, they are sneered at or have dirt thrown at them.
Really?
Like, eggs, whatever. Of course, the royal family.
Is that what you would consider dirt? Have dirt thrown at them, and then she says eggs?
Family aren't exactly safe themselves. The Luftwaffe has been ordered to specially target national monuments, which is gross, I think. And it is only a matter of time before Buckingham Palace itself is bombed. In mid-September 1940, the whole royal family also takes on the burden of rationing. The Queen and the Queen Mother are given extra clothing coupons for garment for state occasions. But inside all their state-mandated ration books, they have the ordinary allowance of coupons for food, soap, and other ration goods.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in Italy, King Victor Emmanuel actually takes some action and successfully blocks Mussolini from entering the war straight away. He insists that his
Good on him. Showing a little bit of backbone. I understand it's a tough situation, and you're making the call that you're thinking won't ruin your career and will keep you alive, probably, but, you know.
realm is in no condition to wage war, refuses to transfer his role as commander-in-chief to Mussolini, and demands to be let in on the most important military decisions. The king wants to wait until a winning side emerges, something Mussolini is furiously forced to accept for a short while, despite Hitler's urging him to join. Still, when Germany takes one victory after the other and swiftly invades France, Victor Emmanuel is persuaded by the prospect of quick and riskless gain and bows to the pressure in June 1940.
Okay.
He gives Mussolini his consent as sovereign to enter the war and take operational command powers over to armed forces. Back in Britain, everybody is painfully aware of these continual Axis victories. And so, 14-year-old Princess Elizabeth now also does her bit by encouraging her fellow Briton children, telling them in a BBC Children's Hour broadcast in October 1940.
We children at home are full of cheerfulness and courage. We are trying to do all we can to help our gallant sailors, soldiers, and airmen. And we are trying, too, to bear our own share of the danger and sadness of war. We know, every one of us, that in the end all will be well, for God will care for us and give us victory and peace. And when peace comes,
What are they doing? Giving scrap metal to like be melted down for bullets or something? Or what is that? If somebody knows, let me know.
remember, it will be for us, the children of today, to make the world of tomorrow a better and happier place. My sister is by my side, and we are both going to say good night to you. Come on, Margaret. Good night, children. Good night, and good luck to you all.
Her father, the king, is concerned with political machinations in Eastern Europe. His distant cousin, King Carl II of Romania, is forced to flee to Mexico after Prime Minister Ion Antonescu.
What's the connection there? He flees from Romania to Mexico? A lot of the time it's a colony or something, but Mexico wasn't a Romanian colony, right? I mean, unless I'm crazy, but... Well, yeah, what's the connection there? You just want to sit on a beach and, drink margaritas all day? Why Mexico?
Stages a coup in September to bring the country into the Axis allies. Karl has to leave his 19-year-old son, Prince Michael, with Antonescu, who suspends the constitution, dissolves the parliament, and installs the young prince as the new king on September 6th. 1940.
Wow.
Michael is crowned on the same day with the traditional insignias of a Romanian king, which in theory makes him commander-in-chief of the army and gives him responsibility of appointing the prime minister. But in reality, he is forced to stay in the background of political business. George can do little more.
So it's just kind of a figurehead.
Than watch. But he does try to ensure the same thing does not happen in Bulgaria, writing to its king, Boris III, on October the 12th, to urge him to maintain neutral. But the Nazi pressure on King Boris is overwhelming.
I mean, to be fair, very early war, I can't necessarily blame a lot of these people that are just hopping in because of the pressure. It's the pressure that's that your country could be taken. It's the pressure that your people's lives may be lost, and that you're worried for your country and you're worried for your people and all this, and you have to choose a side. And it looks like Hitler's winning. It's as easy as that. We didn't know at this time about the concentration camps. We didn't know about anything just extraordinarily crazy going on other than the crimes of war. I mean, it's weird to say, but I get why they joined the Axis side.
The Bulgarian Tsar is married to Giovanna of Italy, the daughter of Victor Emmanuel III. Hitler hopes that this can help bring Bulgaria into Axis orbit. Even without this union, Germany and Bulgaria were allies in the Great War, and its current government is still very much pro-German. King Boris' ministers have been pressuring him to consent to the law of protection of the nation, an anti-Semitic law similar in scope and aimed to Germany's own...
Whoa, the Nuremberg laws. This is cool to see. Let's see, German blood, so grandparents, parents, heritage allowed. Oh, legend. Okay. So German blood and German national community can be a citizen of the Reich. Okay, so they can be citizens of the Reich, children of German blood. Okay. I wish I could see more of this. I could spend 20 minutes just going through this. That's incredible. Crossbreed first degree. So I guess what, black and white, or can't really tell what it is, or non-pure versus pure as far as they're concerned. So half and half. That leads to half, okay. To full, okay. Yeah, okay. But they can't be a member of the Reich. That's interesting. Let's see, crossbreed second degree. Okay. Oh, and then they're allowed in. So if you're half, it's no good. But if you're an eighth, I wonder if you're a quarter. I guess not allowed in right there. So that answers my question. Huh. If one of your parents is a quarter, not, what do they call it? Aryan, pure, whatever. Wow, marriage forbidden. Interesting. Wow. Oh my God. Jewish person can't marry an Aryan person, or even partially Jewish. Marriage allowed. Whoa, I gotta see what this is. Sorry, I'm wasting way too much time on this. I apologize, you guys. It's just super interesting.
He eventually does in January 1941, and 2 months later gives in to Hitler as well, entering Bulgaria into the Axis alliance. But Boris does not want to support Germany unconditionally. As head of the military forces, he refuses to send regular Bulgarian troops into the USSR and also tries to bypass the deportation of Jews. He looks for ways to ship Jews scheduled for deportation to Palestine and not to German concentration camps, and employs...
Oh yeah, I guess we did know of the concentration camps. We knew about them. I guess we didn't know... At the time, we didn't really know the... We knew of the concentration camps. We didn't know of some of the horrors that were happening there, right? We thought they were more like work camps. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm just delusional.
Jewish men to build roads so that he can insist on their remaining because their work is indispensable. For Italian King Victor Emmanuel, events don't develop too well. The fascists are secretly planning to rid themselves of the monarchy and have already taken measures to bar him from public life. Newspapers are ordered to leave out even minimal reports on the monarchy's activities, and his fortnight meetings with the Undersecretary of War are hushed as well. In January 1941, the king knows that the war is not going well for Italy and that the fascist regime is losing the people's support. But in fear of being overthrown altogether, the king decides to keep his mouth shut. He will soon lose more and more of the support of his people himself. When Rome is bombed in 1943, he will be booed during his visit to the scenes of the attack.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the last thing that you want to see a lot of the time, right? Your whole neighborhood's been destroyed because in your eyes, it's because this person brought you into this war. And now they're coming down off their, off their fancy carriages or whatever they're riding in, and or fancy cars and fancy clothes, and now they're just looking at it and getting a few photo ops. I could see why they would boo people.
On the opposite end of the power spectrum, Emperor Hirohito is now actively involved in the discussion and approval of all strategic war plans. He remains an advocate for diplomatic solutions, appointing Hideki Tojo as prime minister in October 1941, with hopes that Hideki Toyo's royal devotion will mean he can be influenced to take the path of peace. But as we all know by now, that hope is in vain. Either powerless or unwilling to use the power he does have, Hirohito finally authorizes the attack on Pearl Harbor on December The 1st? No, it was the 6th.
No, he authorized.
Oh, he authorized. I was gonna say it is not December 1st.
Is it on December 1st?
Aha. Okay. That is several days after the Japan fleet has already set sail for Hawaii. To learn more detail about all this than you will likely ever need to know, check out our 10-part miniseries, Pearl Harbor, Minute by Minute.
Oh, I would
The link
love
is
that.
below. There. Hirohito
I will be watching that at some point, you guys. If I forget, remind me.
is seen as a deity in his people, now fully locked in a war that has swept the world. Chodo refers to him as Godhead, and soldiers scream their war cry, Tenno Haiku Banzai, long live the Emperor, as they conquer the Pacific world. Despite his apparent reluctance for war, Hirohito still publicly supports militarism among his people. On February the 18th, 1942, he hosts a public celebration of Japanese victory so far. He parades along the Nibobashi Bridge in front of his palace on a white horse, waving to a cheering crowd. Princess Elizabeth has her first public outing as heir to the British throne. On her 16th birthday, April 21st, 1942, she inspects the Grenadier Guard in her ceremonial position as their colonel in
She looks significantly older than her sister Margaret.
chief. After the
I mean, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. She looks significantly older, I meant, than she looked just 2 years ago when she was 14.
ceremony, she meets the soldiers together with the rest of her family. Besides taking part in official events like these, the king and queen still visit the sites of severe bomb damage every day, where they are by now greeted cheerfully. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Future's husband, the exiled Prince Philip of Greece, and
There he is.
an officer in the British Royal Navy. He has patrolled the Indian Ocean and even tasted action himself near Greece during the Battle of Cape Matapan aboard HMS Violent.
Here's the crazy part. When I think of World War II, I know we hear stories. My grandfather, he fought in Vietnam, he fought in Korea. But he didn't fight in World War II because it was such a long time ago. My grandfather had passed away almost 10 years ago. And he, when World War II broke out, he was, 6 years old? When World War II was over, he was only 12 years old. So, it's such an incredibly long time ago. And yet you look at Prince Philip, and he just passed away, and he served in World War II. It's just incredible to see these veterans. There's not very many of them left from World War II.
Royals across the world have faced various trials and fluctuating levels of support. But it seems that it is the British monarchy that has emerged the strongest.
Sorry to cut her off one more time. I don't know if I accidentally just said King Philip. I meant Prince Philip if I accidentally said King. Sorry. Don't leave me 20 comments, please. If I said that, I apologize.
Leading a land still retaining its national sovereignty and being the very symbol of eventual victory. If popular music is anything to go by, the British people are thankful. In March 1941, The King is Still in London is recorded by Bert Ambrose and his orchestra, with Sam Brown singing the words, "The royal standard waves above for everyone to see. The king is with his people, because that's
cool.
where he wants to be. The king is still in London, in London, in London, and he would be in London town if London Bridge was falling down."
I like
if you
it.
like to learn more about a modern
Alright, looks like that's about it. I like this channel. It's interesting. That being said, thanks for recommending that, CJ. I do have a lot of other videos I'm going to get to. Tomorrow we're going to hop back into Rome. This was actually super interesting. It's not what I thought I'd be watching today, for sure. But I appreciate it, so thank you. That being said, if you guys haven't subbed, hit that sub button, help me out. Till next time, this is AcesHigh. I love y'all, and I'm out.